There's no need for you to be pulling your hair out with that crazy cost tracking spreadsheet. When I was a project manager, I suffered through all of that, and I'll show you all the secrets to building your very own project cost tracking template, and I'll even give you one for free so you don't have to do it. My name's Doug Vincent, I'm the Chief Executive at Mastt, and I'm going to give you all of my construction project management knowledge so that you can deliver projects like an absolute pro. Okay, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to give you a free template so you can track the 12 metrics that are critical for project cost tracking. And if you head to the link that I'll give you down below, you can download your very own free construction cost tracker so you don't have to build one from scratch. But there's going to be some trouble there. So what I want to show you is how you can automate that and not have to use a spreadsheet at all, because you're going to want to create this chart. This is the king of project cost reporting charts, and it gives us 12 must-have metrics in a single visualization. And what I love about this chart is not only does it clearly show the budget, the total cost at completion, and the variance, it also gives us just clear progress on where we're at today, neat visual hierarchy, and all of this can be automated. So to achieve that chart, you must be tracking the 12 key metrics in your project cost tracker, and I'll show you those right now. So if you're starting from scratch, note these down and you can start to build these in your spreadsheet, and I'll show you how to do it. First metric you want to track is the budget. This is the original budget that you have for that project, that budget, or that sub-budget. There's going to be changes. You might move money between budgets, and so you want to track those budget adjustments that might be transfers or might be budget changes. Now, after those changes, there'll then be a new budget, and so you'll call that, the current budget position. Against the budgets, you're going to let work, contracts, you're going to let scope, you're going to make commitments. And so you need to track all of the commitments under those budgets and their change orders so that you can get metric number 6, which is the current committed amount. All executives in projects are going to want to know what the budget is and how much we've committed against that budget, because once you sign that contract, you're up for that money. Now, to really round out the question or answer the question, how much more have we got to spend? You then have all of the uncommitted work, which is risks or things that are not let, materials that maybe haven't been committed yet to the project. And you'll need to track those so that you can get a final forecast cost or an estimate at completion, which is your best prediction for the total cost of the project. Then we can do variance to budget, and we can track all the payments. And so the two magic formulas that I want to introduce to you are, firstly, the variance, which is the budget minus the forecast to completion, and then forecast to completion, which is made up of committed and uncommitted costs. So I'm going to assume that most of us know that. Otherwise, check out our other videos on how to create a project budget. And just to give you a quick glimpse of what we go into, I'll show you how all those project costs in a cost tracker should be wrapped up into a budget. So if you don't have your spreadsheet, follow on and I'll show you how we can build a project cost tracker from scratch in Mastt, starting with metric number 1, which is our budget. I've just got 4 budgets in here: planning, design, construction, and contingency. But you'll have your own, and you can build out, detailed nesting of these budgets if you need to. So tracking each budget individually then rolls up to the total project budget, and we want to now track metric number 2, which is the budget adjustments. When we move money from contingency into another budget, that might be a transfer, that might be a change. Either way, that movement of money needs to be tracked, and that will give us our current budget position, which is the original budget plus any adjustments that have been made. With an accurate budget position, we can now track and monitor the costs, the real world costs, the real-time costs, to get to a position of variance. Now, the first costs that we will probably let will be some form of contracts. So I'll turn that on. Contracts or commitments might include general contractors, architects, engineers, other consultants, and they will be underneath a budget on this project. And that's how we can start to track and see side by side what our budget position is and then what our current commitment position is against that budget. But as the project progresses, we actually get change orders and changes against those contracts. So next, we need to show what we call in Australia variations, and in America, North America, change orders, because we need to know what those changes are to get our current committed position, which is the original committed amount plus those contracts changes. Doesn't end there, because there's going to be risks or maybe unlet work or other scope that's going to creep up on us and potentially drive the project's costs up. So to track those, we need to have a column for our uncommitted amounts. This could be costs for weather delays. It could be line items for more work. It could be anything at all. Really list out what those uncommitted amounts are. Use your risk register to identify potential costs that might be coming your way if you don't, mitigate risks. But you really want to get your committed and uncommitted position accurate so that we can get our total estimate cost at completion, our forecast final cost, total cost at completion, whatever it is, whichever part of the world you're in, you want to know what your best estimate is of the total cost for this project at the end so that we can compare it now back to the budget. So I'm going to turn on the variance. Cool. And I might close up some columns here. There we go. Actually, let's pin this left. Cool. Oh, wrong one. Pin left. Cool. Unpin. Great. Now we can see that we have a variance against our budget. So a red variance means that our final forecast cost or our total estimate of cost to completion is over the budget. Green variance means that we're estimating to be under the budget. And so this allows you to make better budgeting decisions or maybe capital reallocation calls based on your real-time costs that are being tracked here in this ledger. Let's continue, because there's going to be payments that have been made against this. So it could be too late, potentially, to recoup some of that variance. And we're going to turn on payment progress, we'll turn on total paid, total submitted, total approved, and amount remaining for us to get a visual representation here of payments made. So tracking payments gives us our current committed position, our current paid position against the project's budget, and is an indicator of progress to executives and boards and committees about how far this project is progressing. We recommend tracking not only what's been paid, but also what's been approved and what has been submitted, because those are leading indicators of progress. Paid is a bit of a lagging indicator, so you want to track submitted and approved, and then of course track the amount remaining so that you can easily report this is how much left is on that project's budget. So that rounds out all the 12 key metrics in a project cost tracker, the order of them, how they work together, and where you can use them to make decisions. If you ever get confused, you can go back, just hover over the title here to see what the meaning is. And I recommend potentially hiding some columns that you don't need so that you can have a comfortable experience here with your cost tracker. And if you need to drill in, you can just simply unravel the row and drill down into the data to find the line item or the element that you're looking for to get that piece of information, to make that report or make that decision. So with all this data being beautifully tracked here in one single centralized system, we can then produce the chart, that beautiful chart. And I'm going to go to my budget report page, and you can see there it is, all that complex data summarized into one chart that makes it super easy for stakeholders, super easy for capital project owners to see what's going on in an instant. And this is just an example dashboard that I had prepared that includes all the budgeted position, key decision-making data that can be PDF'd into one single view for ease of distribution. So you can build that cost tracker out in Mastt. You can get your free spreadsheet if you want to use the spreadsheet version, but you might have some challenges with the reporting. And the last thing that we'll cover here is just how you can report on those key metrics. So we looked at one chart, which is our preferred way at Mastt to visually communicate the 12 key metrics and project progress. But you always want to include in a comprehensive report, not just budgeting data. You might want to include more data around project status. And so I recommend having a look at some of Mastt's pre-prepared dashboards, such as this budget dashboard that includes status, costs, and other things in one single spot. So key takeaways are, once you get your project cost tracker done, not only is that for tracking costs, but it is also for powering reporting. So make sure you don't forget one without the other. You can download the spreadsheet cost tracker. You can cruise through Mastt's free template library, and you can use our dashboard resources to get some inspiration for your own dashboards and reports. Now, if you like this basic video on how to build a cost tracker, please hit like, otherwise subscribe. And if you need any help at all, please contact me, doug.vincent@mastt.com, and I'll talk to you guys soon.